Good morning. I'm Matt Altabello, principal of Kaiser High School, and it is my honor and privilege to welcome you to the 81st Annual Jonah Edward Kelley Award Ceremony. Today, we are here to not only celebrate tradition, but to recognize excellence. Excellence in character, in leadership, and in service to others. These are qualities that each of our nominees, Grayson Lamka, Braylon McGreevy, and Owen Rotruck, clearly represent. For more than 8 decades, this award has persisted as a symbol of what it truly means to represent the very best of our school and our community. The legacy of Jonah Edward Kelley reminds us that excellence is not measured solely by achievement, but by courage, humility, and a commitment to something greater than oneself. This morning is about honoring the values that unite us: integrity, perseverance, and a willingness to step forward when it matters most. To our students being recognized today, you represent the goodness within Kaiser High School and the strength of our community. Your hard work, perseverance, and character have brought you to this moment, and we could not be prouder of each of you. To our families, staff, and community members, thank you for your continued support in shaping these young individuals into leaders who carry forward the proud traditions of our school. As we begin today's ceremony, let us reflect on the significance of this award and the responsibility that comes with it. And let us remember the profound sacrifice that one individual can make for the greater good. Thank you, and welcome to the 81st Jonah Edward Kelley Award Ceremony. At this time, representing the West Virginia Army National Guard, Sergeants First Class Travis Orange, Ryan Hotchkiss, Devin Perano, and Sergeant Chris Hoover will now present our colors, followed by the national anthem from our Kaiser High School Concert Band and the Pledge of Allegiance by Kaiser High School Senior Class President Dylan Miller. Please stand.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now remain seated.
We often look at the giants of history, the innovators, the leaders, and the heroes, as if they were born in the clouds, destined for greatness from the very start. We see their names etched in stone or printed in history books and imagine a path paved with silver spoons and easy victories.
But the truth is much more grounded. Most of the people who changed the world didn't start at the finish line. They started in the shadow of humble beginnings.
As Americans, we should consider the man, Abraham Lincoln, born in a one-room log cabin with a dirt floor. In addition, we might consider Oprah Winfrey, who grew up in such deep poverty that she wore potato sacks as clothes. These individuals didn't succeed despite their beginnings, they succeeded because of them.
A humble beginning is not a handicap. It is a forge. It is where a person learns the value of a dollar, the necessity of hard work, and the resilience required to stand back up when the world knocks them down. It is where character and integrity are built when no one is watching.
When we speak of humble beginnings in the heights of human courage, we must speak of Jonah Edward Kelley.
Born in the small town of Rado, West Virginia, on April 13, 1923, during the height of the Great Depression, Ed's early life was defined by the quiet, rugged simplicity of the Appalachian Hills. He wasn't a man of titles or privilege. He was a son of the working class, a young man who understood the grit required to make a life out of nothing.
In 1937, the Kelley family was forced to move in with his grandmother to survive, only to have to move again a year later so she could rent out her rooms to boarders to make ends meet. Growing up in an environment where space and resources were scarce taught him to prioritize the needs of the collective over his own comfort.
Before he was a soldier, Kelley was a leader in his local Methodist Youth Fellowship, and he was a Boy Scout. In our community, he was known specifically for his honesty and his willingness to participate in church and civic activities.
When World War II called, Staff Sergeant Kelley didn't just go, he led. In January 1945, in the bitter cold of Kesternick, Germany, this young man from West Virginia showed the world what humble beginnings truly produce.
He carried this servant leader mentality into the Army. Despite his talent as an expert marksman, he was known for being a natural leader who focused on the safety of his squad rather than personal glory.
It should not be supposed that the Kelleys lived in the lap of luxury. Their rented house, during this time, had no indoor plumbing, so they took sponge baths in wooden wash tubs with water toted up from the creek. The privy, or outhouse, was in the backyard.
When Ed started school, he made new friends quickly. His clothes were made out of flour sacks and feed bags, but this caused him no embarrassment. Most of his friends were in the same boat. He had a good pair of trousers, which he wore to church, and another pair for all other occasions.
Ed loved to play kick the can on his way to and from school, taking back alleys to achieve the maximum effect with his sport. Having only a few toys of commercial manufacture, Ed made his own, sometimes with considerable imagination. His mind was constantly active, and his determination never wavered in carrying some project through to completion. Ed never needed much to enjoy the simple pleasures.
One of his best ideas was damming up a section of New Creek to make a swimming hole for the neighborhood kids. New Creek was a bass breeding stream, and one day the Fish and Game Reserve officer ordered Ed to dismantle the dam so the bass could swim upstream at spawning time.
Undeterred, Ed made a trapdoor out of an old Coca-Cola sign and attached it to the bottom of the dam. It worked like a charm. The fish got through, the game warden was happy, and the kids kept their swimming hole that lasted several years.
As they grew older, Ed and his friends improvised on the game of tag in numerous ways. They played a game called Fox and Chickens, in which two opposing teams lined up, challenging each other to break through the lines. The challengers were then tackled, and those tackled and down would then join the others in warding off the next challengers. It was rough and tumble, but good preparation for Ed's football days, which were soon to come. In Ed's life, sports and church were inseparably linked.
By the time Ed had reached his teens, his reputation for honesty had become proverbial, but he much preferred to stay out of the limelight and was painfully shy when people made a fuss over him.
During his junior year, Ed worked in the school office running errands, answering telephones, or doing odd jobs whenever he had an hour or two of free time. Many that worked with Ed said he was a good student, a good worker, and exceptionally polite.
Ed graduated from Kaiser High School in June of 1941. He made immediate plans to enter Potomac State that fall and got himself a summer job at the Celanese plant in nearby Cumberland, Maryland.
That fall, Ed did enter Potomac State Junior College and plunged into a busy schedule of classes in football. Ed wore the number 78 emblazoned on his jersey. In one of the games, he cracked 3 ribs but didn't tell his family about it. He just taped himself up and went quietly about his business. Ed sprained an ankle in another game while playing defensive end, but continued to play until the game was over.
Ed and his best friends primed themselves for active service in World War II by staying after school to work out in the gymnasium, climbing ropes and doing calisthenics to toughen themselves up for basic training.
Ed was in a rage to go into service like the older boys, but had to wait until he was called. One of his close friends got a job at the Kaiser Draft Board and called Ed to let him know that his name would be coming up, but it was not until a whole year away. Ed decided not to enroll at Potomac State a second year and told his parents he wanted to live a little before going into the service.
During that time, Ed got a job as a produce manager for the American Food Store and bided his time while waiting for his draft notice to materialize. All of the boys had talked enthusiastically about the branch of service they wanted to join, and Ed held out for the Marines.
Ed talked of nothing else until he finally hopped on a bus for Clarksburg, where he took a physical exam for the Marine Corps. To his astonishment, they told him he had a form of color blindness and turned him down. Ed was crushed. Their tests must have been wrong.
On the bus trip home, he turned over his options one by one. The Navy, if he got torpedoed, he'd have a long swim home. The Air Force, too little control with his feet off the ground. The Army, he could run faster than he could swim or fly, so that had to be the answer. He'd take another physical for the Army and see what they thought about his eyes.
Ed finally received his pre-induction physical notice from the county health office, which instructed him to report on December 15, 1942 at 9 a.m. for his physical. He passed with flying colors and his eyes checked out normally. The Marines must have been crazy.
On March 16, 1943, Ed reported to Fort Hays with his detachment of 62 raw recruits. Ed learned that he was to be sent for basic training to a place called Camp Butner in North Carolina. He was launched almost immediately into a rigorous training program in the field and on the firing range.
Ed was assigned to Company E, 1st Platoon, 311th Infantry Regiment, and was to remain with E Company for the rest of his life. Ed picked up the rigors of combat training in earnest, getting up at 4 a.m. and hiking 60 miles in 12 hours. His marksmanship was improving at a distance of 300 feet, where he scored near perfect from sitting, squatting, and prone positions.
On the day he received his second paycheck, Ed wrote his father. The first pay was $12, and this one is $37.25. I am sending him $20. I won't need it. There is nothing to spend it on here. After training at Camp Butner, North Carolina, he would soon leave his beloved country to fight in waist-deep snow in Kesternick, Germany, where some of the 78th had already seen action in the ruthless Battle of the Bulge.
For his conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity, Jonah Edward Kelley was posthumously awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor.
His Congressional Medal of Honor citation reads, Staff, Sergeant Jonah Edward Kelley, 311th Infantry Division, displayed conspicuous gallantry in action on 31 January 1945 at Kesternick, Germany. In charge of the leading squad of Company E, he heroically spearheaded the attack in furious house-to-house fighting.
Early on 30 January, he led his men through intense mortar and small arms fire in repeated assaults on barricaded houses. Although twice wounded, once when struck in the back, the second time when a mortar shell fragment passed through his left hand and rendered it practically useless, he refused to withdraw and continued to lead his squad after hasty dressings had been applied.
His serious wounds forced him to fire his rifle with one hand, resting it on rubble or over his left forearm. To blast his way forward with hand grenades, he set aside his rifle to pull the pins with his teeth while grasping the missiles with his good hand. Despite his handicaps, he created tremendous havoc in the enemy ranks. He rushed one house, killing 3 of the enemy and clearing the way for his squad to advance. On approaching the next house, he was fired upon from an upstairs window. He killed the sniper with a single shot and similarly accounted for another enemy soldier, who ran from the cellar of the house.
As darkness came, he assigned his men to defensive positions, never leaving them to seek medical attention. At dawn the next day, the squad resumed the attack, advancing to a point where heavy automatic and small arms fire stalled them. Despite his wounds, Sergeant Kelley moved out alone, located an enemy gunner, dug in under a haystack, and killed him with rifle fire. He returned to his men and found that a German machine gun from a well-protected position in a neighboring house still held up the advance.
Ordering his squad to remain in comparatively safe positions, he valiantly dashed into the open and attacked the position single-handedly through a hail of bullets. He was hit several times and fell to his knees when within 25 yards of his objective, but he summoned his waning strength and emptied his rifle into the machine gun nest, silencing the weapon before he died.
The superb courage, aggressiveness, and utter disregard for his own safety displayed by Sergeant Kelley inspired the men he led and enabled them to penetrate the last line of defense held by the enemy in the village of Kesternick. His story reminds us that greatness isn't about where you start. It's about what you are willing to sacrifice for the person standing next to you. It tells us that a boy from a small mountain town can possess a heart large enough to shield a nation.
At this time, we would like to honor and remember all the men and women who have served our country without fail. These men and women of the armed forces have proven time and time again the strength of humbleness, perseverance. If all active, reserve, retired, and newly enlisted military personnel would please rise. Let us show our appreciation for their service, sacrifice, and selflessness. Thank you. You may be seated.
Today, we honor 3 young men who held the ideals and qualities that Staff Sergeant Jonah Edward Kelley possessed. The winner, like Ed Kelley, has to be an all-around American boy, scholar, and athlete. He is also expected to excel in scholastic standing, where the young man must display at least a 2.0 grade point average.
Nominees must be eligible for sports all 4 years at Kaiser High School by participating in either football or basketball in grades 9 through 12. These 2 sports are identified because Ed Kelley participated in these sports while attending our high school.
Other areas that are considered in the candidates and ultimately the winner are citizenship, morals, sportsmanship, church attendance, community and country loyalty, integrity, sobriety, and the observance of the law. The young man must display leadership and patriotism. Moreover, the candidate should demonstrate courtesy and be sincere in his work. After the 3 nominees submit an essay, the winner is then selected by a special anonymous committee.
Every year around Ed Kelley's birthday, we celebrate his legacy to us with these 3 young men and over 100 predecessors who wear the medallion and stand with pride because they are a part of a most sacred and privileged membership in the Kelley Society. Since 1946, we were lucky enough to have young men represent all aspects of Jonah Edward Kelley. Kaiser High School and our community are so grateful that you continue to keep the memory of Ed Kelley alive.
At this time, would all past candidates and winners, members of the prestigious Kelley Society, please rise. Join me in applauding these outstanding citizens of our community, country, and world. Thank you. You may be seated.
This year, each candidate has prepared a short video highlighting his accomplishments and thoughts about being nominated for such a prestigious award. Each candidate will also mention important areas of his life, his family, and his passions. The videos are presented in alphabetical order. The first nominee is Grayson Scott Lamka.
Nominee. I was overjoyed with such an honor. A real goal of mine is being the type of person that Ed Kelley was. My grade point average is 3.74. During my time at KHS, I played football, basketball, and ran track. I was All-State in football my senior, junior, and sophomore year. I was also All-State in track my sophomore year. My senior year in football, I was All-Area Offensive Player of the Year. I was captain in all 3 sports my senior year. In school, I was in Key Club, Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy, and Student Athlete Leadership Team. I am also an active member of 4-H and FFA. In my community, I worked at the Apple Harvest and taught students in 6th grade, camp, and elementary schools about agriculture. I also made shoeboxes with my church. In my faith, I attend Beaver Run Church of the Brethren. After graduation, I plan to play football at Glenville State University and major in health sciences. My biggest inspiration is my mom. She always does extra for everyone else.
Our second nominee is Braylon Robert McGreevy.
Hello, my name is Braylon McGreevy. I'm the son of Jennifer and Lance McGreevy. My current grade point average is 4.0. I'm very honored to be nominated for this prestigious award. My goal is to use this nomination to be a role model for the youth. I'm a 1-year member of the football team, 2-year member of the golf team, 4-year member of the basketball team, and 4-year member of the track team. I was a captain on the basketball team my senior year. I'm 2 times All-PVC and an All-State honorable mention in basketball. In school, I was a member of the Key Club my junior and senior year. I was also a member of the National Honor Society my junior and senior year. In my community, I volunteered at Fountain Primary School and the Apple Harvest. Through my faith, I've been a member of Trinity Lutheran Church my whole life. After I graduate high school, I plan to attend Potomac State College and West Virginia University to pursue my bachelor's degree in accounting. The biggest inspiration in my life has been my father because of his determination to always help others.
Last but not least, we present our third nominee, Owen Morgan Brotruck.
Hello, my name is Owen Brotruck, and I am the son of Colin and Amber Brotruck. I am deeply honored to be chosen as a candidate because of Ed Kelley's legacy. And I'm very proud to represent all the candidates that came before me. My current GPA is 4.34. In high school, I've played football, wrestling, track, and baseball. I was the captain of the wrestling team my junior and senior year. I was the captain of the football team my senior year. In football, I am a two-time All-BVC player, a two-time All-State player, and a one-time All-Area player. In wrestling, I am a one-time All-State wrestler, a four-time PVC champion, and a two-time Most Outstanding PVC wrestler. I've been a member of Key Club, Student Council, Chick-fil-A Leader Academy, and National Honor Society. In my community, I've helped at Fountain and New Creek Primary Schools, and I've helped restore the KHS Plaza. In my faith, I'm a member of Grace Church. After high school, I plan to attend Potomac State College and WVU to pursue a degree in chemical engineering. My biggest inspirations would be my parents because they pushed me to be the best version of myself I can be every day.
Each candidate, after viewing and listening to their accomplishments, deserves this honor. We are so lucky to have an ideal role model who comes from our high school, attended our local college, and was drafted to fight in a war where he lost his life. The life of Jonah Edward Kelley will never be forgotten, as long as those loyal to him continue to keep his memory alive. It is our job to never forget those who sacrificed the ultimate price, his or her life.
So, if you feel today like you are starting with nothing, if you feel the weight of your own humble beginnings, take heart. You are in the company of giants.
The world doesn't need you to be born into greatness. It needs you to cultivate the courage, the work ethic, and the integrity that only a humble start can provide. Like Jonah Edward Kelley, may we all find the strength to turn our modest origins into a legacy of honor.
Jonah Edward Kelley never lived to see the accolades his name would eventually carry. His father accepted the Medal of Honor on his behalf in a quiet ceremony at Fort Hays, Ohio. Today, his legacy is honored not through giant monuments he requested, but through the infrastructure of the people he served. A bridge in Mineral County, an Army Reserve facility, and even a Navy ship. All named for a man who started in a small mountain town and never asked for more than the chance to do his duty.
Kephart. Rex Workman. Bernard Kimmel. Joseph S. White. William Kuykendall. Gene Wolford.
It is my honor to introduce the guest of the 81st J. Edward Kelley ceremony. First, I'd like to start with the three nominees and their guests. First up, Grayson Lamka. He has with him today his mom, Amber Kearns, dad, Scotty Lamka, sister, Kinsley Lamka, cousins, Brody and Alston, grandparents, J.R. and Terry Kearns, Bill Lamka, Robin Broadwater, and Pauline Lamka, his Aunt Rita, Aunt Sandy, and Uncle Mike, his good friend, Aiden Riggleman. Our first nominee and his guest, Grayson Lamka. For our next nominee, Braylon McGreevy, has with him his father and mother, Lance McGreevy and Jennifer McGreevy, his pap and grandma, Aaron Shaw and Darla Shaw, his uncle Jordan Shaw, Aunt Brittany Keller, Aunt Heather Mills, his Aunt Stephanie Shaw, and his sister Brianna McGreevy. Our second nominee, Braylon McGreevy. Next, our third nominee is Owen Rotruck. With him today, he has his father and mother, Colin and Amber Rotruck, his brother Logan Rotruck, grandfather and grandmother, Daryl and Colleen Rotruck, grandfather, Keith Abusevich, aunts Missy Dietrich, Celeste Schillingberg, and Carrie Rotruck, uncle Jason Dietrich, cousins Brooke Dietrich, Tanner Dietrich, and Holden Schillingberg. And friends of the family, Shirley Rinker, Ava Tringler, and Maya Burgess. Our third nominee and his guest, Owen Rotruck. Next, we welcome President of the Kelley Society, Jeff Staggers. Now it's my honor to introduce the members of the Kelley Society that are here with us today. If we could, hold our applause until the last name is read. And gentlemen, if you please rise when your name is called out, and please remain standing until the final name. From 1961, Dr. James Currier. 1964, Gary Alt and Woodrow Kessiker. 1967, Larry Taylor. 1974, Robert McDonald. 1975, Robert Eagle. 1978, Tim Schweinebart, Randy Cirillo. 1979, Clay Sprouse. 1982, Damon Bateson. 1983, Scott Roball and Jeff Kessiker. 1985, Jeffrey Staggers. 1988, Harmon Perrell. 1989, John Staggers. 1990, Wayne Lambert. 1992, Jeff Stanislawczyk. 1997, Adam Brathwaite. 1998, John Haynes Jr. and Charles Jordan. 2003, Jeffrey Newland. 2006, Chris Zaffron. 2007, Trevor Haynes. 2008, Blake Mangold. 2010, Robert Del Signor. 2014, Cody Eversole. 2019, Caden Garland. 2023, Anthony Mealy. 2024, Logan Rotruck and Drew Matlick. 2025, Daniel Shoemaker and Ian Spiker. Representative presenting the award from the Loyal Order of the Moose, President Tina Stephen. West Virginia University Potomac State College President Dr. Jerry Wallace. West Virginia State Delegate Rick Hillenbrand. Mineral County Commissioners Dutch Stagg and Jason Whitlock. Former Kaiser High School Principal Mr. John Haynes. Community Trust Foundation Executive Director Pamela Twigg. Mineral News and Tribune sports writer Chapin Jewell. Superintendent of Mineral County Schools Mr. Troy Ravenscroft. Mineral County Schools Board of Education members Laura Currier and Dr. Coach Denny. Representatives from our Mineral County School Central Office have Attendance Director and Coordinator of Counseling and CIS, Ms. Brandy Fisher. Secondary Curriculum and CTE Director, Dr. Matt Ravenscroft. Kaiser High School Assistant Principals, Christine Droppelman and Alicia Dupuy. Staff of Kaiser High School and Kaiser Middle School, could you please stand for us and be recognized for what you do each and every day? Students of Kaiser High School and Kaiser Middle School, please stand and be recognized for your greatness. At this time, we would normally introduce the members of the 78th Lightning Division. Unfortunately, we have come to a time where those members are no longer with us or unable to attend. Found out last night that we have one member of the 78th Lightning Division left, Mr. Stryker, who turned 100 years old this past January. So, Mr. Stryker, if you are listening, if you are watching, we salute you and thank you for who you are. If you would, please join me in a moment of silence for the other members of the 78th Lightning Division. Thank you. I would now like to introduce our guest speaker, retired United States Navy Commander Damon Bateson. Commander Bateson was born and raised in Kaiser, West Virginia. He was a 1982 Kaiser High School graduate and J. Edward Kelley Award winner. Commander Bateson is part of the Athletic Hall of Fame and was inducted into the Kaiser High School Legion of Honor. While at Kaiser High School, Commander Bateson participated in football, basketball, baseball, and was also a member of the marching, concert, and stage bands. He was also a member of the National Honor Society. Commander Bateson was appointed to the United States Naval Academy and graduated in 1986 with a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. He has also earned master's degrees in business administration and in leadership. Commander Bateson was a career surface warrior officer with over 21 years of active duty service. His last assignment was as a project leader for a multi-million-dollar operational testing program for the Tactical Weapons System and Harpoon Block Missile Program. Commander Bateson has been awarded 3 Meritorious Service Medals, 6 Navy Commendation Medals, the Navy Achievement Medal, Combat Action Ribbon, and other individual, unit, and campaign awards. Commander Bateson retired from active duty in 2007. He has been employed as a military operations analyst and team lead, supporting fleet training, those exercises, and major combat operation certifications for U.S. Navy carrier strike groups and amphibious ready groups and their assigned warships. He volunteered for 15 years as a Naval Academy Gold and Blue officer for 2 high schools in Virginia Beach. He and his wife, Joy, reside in Virginia Beach. They have 3 children and 4 grandchildren. With great pleasure and honor, Commander Damon Bateson.
Good morning. Delegate Hillenbrand, Superintendent Ravenscroft, Principal Altabello, fellow Kelley Society members, faculty and students of Kaiser High School, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute honor to be here today. It's great to be back in Kaiser, my hometown, and to be a part of this cherished ceremony. I get back to Kaiser a few times a year. My in-laws live right down in the Bel Air section of Cresaptown. So every time we visit, I venture down 220, and I look forward to coming up over the hill near the Chat and Chew to see my hometown across the river. As I drive across the bridge, I begin what I call the Remembrance Tour. My first stop is always the cemetery to see Mom and Dad. I owe everything to them. Then a stop to Water Street to see my dad's veteran flag. Then I go straight up to the Airport Edition. What a great place. Go up and down the streets where I grew up. Then I make my way through town and Old Stamen Field right over the hill here. The West End and downtown are all must-sees. And heck, even if I have some time, I get 9 holes in at Polish Pines. I loved growing up in Kaiser. As a kid, it was awesome. Family get-togethers, pickup games on any vacant lot, playing chase in the neighborhood, Little League baseball, Church League basketball, Kaiser Steelers football. Friday nights in the fall under the lights at Stamen Field and bleeding black and gold. Heck, getting a hot dog and a milkshake at Custard's Last Stand. The young people don't know where that place was, but it was great. 4th of July celebrations down at the South End and holiday parades down on Main Street. Heck, even drive across the bridge and go get a burger and some fries with gravy at Hamburger Haven. I mean, where else could you grow up and know that when you heard the fire sirens on Friday night, it was 7 p.m.? It was a time of great friends, classmates and teammates, phenomenal neighbors, dedicated teachers and coaches, and a close-knit community. Before I begin my remarks, I'd like to recognize and thank a few people. I want to thank the Kaiser Moose Lodge for hosting the reception last evening. It was really great to be back and see a lot of folks I haven't seen in many years, and also to meet brand new people that I have never met. So it was really, really nice. And thanks, Tina, and the staff over there at the Moose Lodge. It was great. I want to congratulate this year's nominees, Grayson, Braylon, and Owen. Gentlemen, this is a special accomplishment. I also want to thank their parents and extended family. You didn't get here alone, okay? Don't ever forget that. As a member of the Kelley Society, as a Kelley Society member, I want to welcome you to the fraternity. I also like to recognize Carrie Roadtruck, the ceremony director and planner in putting this all together. Great, great job. And the Kaiser High School students that were up here reading Sergeant Kelley's citation today. Carrie, Carly, Kaylin, Madison, outstanding job. Special shout out, folks right down here, KHS Band. I played multiple sports here at Kaiser, but I was also a band member, and I loved it. I'd like to thank Kelley Society President Jeff Staggers, who contacted me right before Christmas to ask me if I would consider being the guest speaker this year. I'm not sure he finished his sentence before I said yes. Because simply stated, this award and ceremony is just special. Today, we not only honor and remember Ed Kelley's heroic actions on the battlefield and recognize the brave soldiers listed behind me, marked absent earlier in the program, but we also celebrate our great city of Kaiser and this community's dedication to this annual award. This ceremony brings back fond memories for me. When I was in elementary school, every March, my parents would begin discussing the ceremony, who the nominees were, trying to figure out who was going to win. It was the talk of the house for about 2 weeks leading up to the program. I remember sitting in 8th grade home ec class at Kaiser Middle School, listening to, I believe it was the 1978 award ceremony on the radio when it was broadcast then. And then during my freshman and junior years, I was able to attend the ceremony as a member of the KHS Band, sat right up against the stage there with my head right up against it. It wasn't comfortable, but it was great. And each year I would sit there thinking how rewarding it would be if I could be sitting on that stage my senior year. Then, thankfully, my senior year, just a few years ago, 44, I sat on the stage in the old KHS auditorium with two of my friends, Steve Hastings and Todd Foster. Seems like yesterday. Although I don't remember much of the ceremony other than being nervous, there was one moment that I will never forget. About a week before the ceremony, I found out I was appointed to the Naval Academy. And as coincidence would have it, the Secretary of the Navy, John Lehman, was slated to be the guest speaker. At the reception prior to the ceremony, we were awaiting Secretary Lehman's arrival. And when he entered, he immediately came over to meet the nominees. And his first words were, quote, "Which one of you are going to the Naval Academy?" I proudly answered, "I am, sir." Couldn't wait to shake his hand. At that point, I was expecting a quick pep talk or some motivating remark, and instead, he calmly came over, shook my hand, said congratulations, then looked me in the eye and said, "You need a haircut." Unfortunately, no one said that to me today. About a month after graduation from Kaiser, I ventured off to the Naval Academy, wondering if I was cut out for this military thing, let alone the academics. And in the first days, the Academy began to stress the importance of the Navy's core values: honor, courage, commitment. And a Latin phrase that was etched above the Naval Academy chapel doors, non sibi se patriae, which means not for self, but for country. I soon realized that maybe life at the academy and in the military would not be as tough as I imagined, because those values were reflective of my upbringing in this wonderful community. I understood very quickly that my time spent here as a kid, teenager, and young adult provided a fantastic foundation of values that would guide me for the rest of my life. So, as I was thinking about what to talk about today, I decided to focus my remarks on two things that I'm very familiar with. Growing up in this wonderful town and the lifelong values ingrained in me, and how they relate to life and success in the military. So you have these two pillars of the American society. You got the close, quiet, close-knit life of a small town in this demanding, structured world of the United States military that at first glance, might seem quite different. Yet, based on my experiences, I believe they're not so different at all. They're deeply intertwined, sharing a common foundation of values that have shaped our nation's character. It's a foundation built on that simple yet profound principle: not for self, but for country. More than 60 years ago, President John F. Kennedy challenged a generation of Americans with the immortal words, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." For many in our small towns, this wasn't a new idea. It was a truth they lived by every day. It was the spirit that raised flags on front porches, that the principle that guided neighbors to help neighbors, and the value that has long sent the sons and daughters to serve in the uniform of our nation. When I think back about my time growing up in Kaiser, there are a few notable values that stand out. First, the power of a cohesive community, neighbors who know each other's names and are there for one another in times of need. Second, I think of a strong work ethic and integrity, where a person's word is their bond, and a job worth doing is a job worth doing well, and doing things right because they are the right thing to do. And lastly, I remember a spirit of service and patriotism. Citizens volunteering in organizations supporting the community, and a deep-seated love for this country. So I'd like to compare these values to my experiences serving and supporting the military. So I'm going to focus on the three values I just mentioned, and I'm going to start with the power of community. In a small town, community isn't just a word, it's a way of life. It's knowing that if your car breaks down, a neighbor will stop to assist or lend you a ride home. It's the local businesses sponsoring the Golden Tornado sports teams. It's the town parades and holiday celebrations. This sense of shared responsibility, of looking out for one another. The sense of community is a powerful force. It's the feeling of belonging, of being part of something larger than yourself. This value translates directly to the armed forces. The bonds between service members are legendary. They are forged in shared hardship, in mutual trust, and in the knowledge that you can always count on the person next to you. This was no more evident than when this newly commissioned 23-year-old naval officer found himself in the middle of the Persian Gulf, of a Persian Gulf deployment, and getting the call that the United States Navy frigate Samuel B. Roberts was nearly cut in half after hitting an Iranian mine near the approaches of the Strait of Hormuz. Sounds like a familiar story that's going on 40 years later, doesn't it? The next morning, our ship was in that live minefield. I'm done. Your crew, if not already, quickly becomes your family. It's a bond that translates background, race, and religion, and it lasts a lifetime. That bond, forged in the crucible of training and deployment, is a direct reflection of the close-knit communities that so many service members call home. Secondly, I'd like to talk about the strength of hard work and integrity. Another hallmark of a small-town life is the deeply ingrained work ethic and a strong sense of integrity. In a small town, a person's reputation is everything. Honesty, trustworthiness, and a strong moral compass are highly valued. This means being honest in your words and your deeds, taking responsibility for your actions, and holding yourself to the highest standards of conduct. It is the moral courage to do the right thing even when no one is watching. Small towns are built on hard work, whether it's the farmer who works from dawn to dusk, or the dedicated Potomac Valley Hospital nurse taking care of their patients, or the small business owner on Main Street who pours their heart and soul into their work, or the teacher, like my recently passed classmate Gary Ack, who goes the extra mile for their students. There is a deep-seated respect for a job well done. This is the essence of the military value of duty. Duty for a service member is more than just a list of tasks. It is a moral and legal obligation to fulfill your responsibilities to the best of your ability. It is the discipline to carry on, even when you're tired, even when you're scared, and even when you'd rather be anywhere else in the world. It is the understanding that the success of the mission and the safety of your comrades depends on you doing your part. Just as an example, I go to work every day at the same naval base that is the home of an elite team of Navy SEALs. Their story and success as a unit begins not on the battlefield, but in the relentless training that forges these exceptional individuals. It is a journey of pushing past physical and mental limits, or as they describe it, embracing the suck. And of understanding that the only easy day was yesterday. It is here that the foundation of integrity is laid, where each operator learns to be brutally honest with themselves and their teammates, to take responsibility for their actions, and to always strive for excellence. This unwavering commitment is the bedrock of their operational success, the silent promise that they will never quit and they will never, ever leave a fallen comrade behind. And the third value, the spirit of service. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, small towns often possess a powerful sense of patriotism and a spirit of service. It's a quiet patriotism, not always loud or boastful, but deeply felt. It's the flags that line Main Street on the 4th of July, or it's the hush that falls over a crowd during the national anthem, or like we have here in Kaiser, individual banners that align our streets, recognizing military veterans, highlighting their service to our nation. You see selfless service in the volunteer firefighters rushing to their next emergency, or local EMTs and ambulance personnel saving a life after an accident, or simply it's the neighbor who organizes a fundraiser or a meal train for a family in need. It's the veteran that returns to the community and becomes leaders, role models, and dedicated citizens. People like World War II veteran and former Kaiser police chief and longtime local firefighter Bob Dorsey, and retired naval aviator and optometrist Dr. Harry Boggs. Both men served our country proudly and then came back to Kaiser and continued their service within this great community. This same spirit of selflessness is the cornerstone of military service. It is the force that drives a soldier to shield a comrade from harm, a sailor to brave a stormy sea to rescue those in peril, and a Marine to charge into the face of danger. It's the understanding that the mission, the nation, and the lives of your fellow service members come before your own personal comfort or safety. This spirit of service is not an abstract concept. For our city, it has a name and a face: Jonah Edward Kelley. Reflecting on his Medal of Honor citation that was read earlier in the program, the entire text, if you really think about it, is littered with the same values I've addressed today. It reads like an epic of heroism, a testament to one man's absolute commitment to his fellow soldiers and his country. So consider the scene. It's January 1945. Small village on the German-Belgian border of no more than 100 timber houses, a small community. He and his men under constant fire while trying to accomplish their mission, a sense of duty. And Kelley, on his own initiative, facing down death, not once, but repeatedly, to save his men. Integrity. His story is not for self, but for country in its purest form. A powerful illustration of how deep-rooted values can translate into extraordinary valor on the battlefield. Ultimately, whether you're from a town of 5,000 or serving in an Army battalion of 500, the values that guide you are remarkably similar. It's about community, service, and a shared commitment to something bigger than yourself. It's about living a life of purpose and making a difference. One small act of kindness or one selfless act of service at a time. I encourage each of you to read Ed Kelley's Medal of Honor citation, as I do every year when I am notified of the upcoming Kelley Award ceremony. The citation reminds me of the sacrifices made for our country by him, the 78th Lightning Division, and the thousands of other military members. And it serves as a reminder to strive to be a better person by serving your community with accountability and integrity. Before I close, I would like to share some thoughts with the Kaiser High School senior class of 2026. You sit here today at the threshold of a new and exciting chapter of your life. Some of you will attend college, or maybe a trade school, or maybe you'll join the military, or you'll directly enter the workforce. The future is a landscape of endless possibilities waiting for your unique imprint. This next phase will undoubtedly present you with challenges and triumphs. And to navigate it successfully, I urge you to anchor yourselves to the values highlighted today. Surround yourself with people who will lift you up, challenge you to be better, and offer support in times of need. Your journey is not one you have to make alone. Understand that diligent effort is the engine of success, but a strong moral compass is the rudder that ensures your achievements are meaningful. Embrace courage as the strength to face uncertainty, to stand for your beliefs in the face of adversity, and to learn from your failures without being defeated by them. I mean, what is the point of dreaming about something if you lack the boldness to pursue it? Finally, look for things to contribute to the well-being of others and the greater good. By building your future on the foundation of these ideals, you will not only achieve success, but also craft a life of purpose and profound impact. In conclusion, I would like to end with a quote from a person who knew a little something about service, a man from a small town of Abilene, Kansas, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who was the supreme Allied commander during the Normandy D-Day invasions. He said, and I quote, "The proudest thing I can claim is that I am from Abilene." You see, where we are from is in the stories we tell, the memories we cherish, and the values we carry. Because I can attest, growing up in a small town never really leaves you. Ladies and gentlemen, during my lifetime when someone would ask me, "Hey, where are you from?" And I got it a lot during my career. I can honestly say one of the proudest statements I'm able to make is I was born and raised in Keyser, West Virginia. This has been a great honor. Thank you.
At this time, I'll call on President of Keyser Moose Lodge 662 for the presentation of awards, Ms. Tina Stephen.
Good morning. I am Tina Stevens, president of the Keyser Moose Lodge 662. The Keyser Moose Lodge started this prestigious program 81 years ago. It's an honor to be here today to present the 81st Jonah Edward Kelley Award, an award that remembers a brave young man and celebrates the outstanding senior boy who follows in his footsteps. If I can have all three candidates please rise. In honor of a fallen hero, we present the 81st Jonah Edward Kelley Award to an outstanding senior boy who exemplifies character, leadership, and dedication. This year's recipient is Mr. Grayson Lampka. Congratulations, sir.
Good morning. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I want to start by saying how much a privilege it is to stand before you today in honor of the remarkable Jonah Edward Kelley. I would like to congratulate two of my best friends, Owen Roadtruck and Braylon McGreevy, for being nominated as well. You guys are both great people and are very deserving of this award. I'd like to take time and take a moment to thank the 78th Lightning Division and all past and present soldiers of this wonderful country. I would like to also thank all the wonderful people who come together each year to keep this amazing tradition alive. We are all gathered here, not for us, but for the admirable Jonah Edward Kelley. Ed Kelley was a man of honesty, integrity, discipline, and courage. He chose to be a part of youth fellowship, sports, and Boy Scouts, things that help others, rather than just serving himself. Among Ed Kelley's values, his bravery amazes me the most. Taking the easy way out or doing things half-heartedly was not his nature. Most people would have left the war the first opportunity they had. Not Ed Kelley. He cared about his mission and this world. He stayed in the war with one arm crippled. This was not an easy task. He was at a big disadvantage, but continued to fight. He put it all out there, single-handedly ending the war by months. Not by retreating while at a disadvantage, but pushing forward and ultimately sacrificing his life. There is no greater honor than laying down your life for something you stand for. Not something that is easy or to talk about. America is the greatest country to live in. We have our veterans to thank for that. It was battles like this and characters with a strong heart that built this country we can take pride in today. May we always hold our heads high and be proud to be an American. May we never take for granted what those men and women went through so that we can have our freedom today. I urge you all to have respect for those past and present in our military. Thank them, pray for them, and remember them. They did what they did so that we can live in this beautiful country sleeping in peace at night. Ed Kelley put that same effort in everything he did. He excelled in sports, dedicated himself to music, church, and the community. If he did something, he did it to the fullest. We can all take something from this. We may not all be great at sports or have a special talent. God made us all different. Our different talents are what make us great. Whatever your passion is, whatever your talent is, work hard at it. Never settle and never give up. We can all strive to do our best in everything we do. At practice, at home, whatever we do, we can do our best. We can all strive to be the best person we can in every situation. Ed Kelley was a man of strong moral character. He was selfless. He cared deeply about others, as evident as he fought his last battle. The kind of person we are matters. It reflects on the people around us and impacts our school, our community, and our world. We can be the kind of individual that helps the other team up after the tackle. We can be the kind of friend that sits with the kid that looks lonely. We can carry a smile, say hi in passing, or hold the door for someone. We can help someone that looks like they could use a hand rather than ignoring them and doing what we want instead. Our attitude is everything. We need to be genuine and kind, lead with humility. Ed Kelley set a great example for us all to be the best version of ourselves. Now, people, young and old, I challenge you to have the same courage that Ed Kelley had and stand up for what is right. Whether it's standing up for someone that's being made fun of, chasing a big dream, or risking your life for others. Work hard at everything you do. Live life to the fullest and make the most of every second, of every minute, of every day. I'd like to thank those that have had a big influence on the person I am. Coach Greg Kearns. Thank you for not just being a coach, but an older brother. You had a lot of faith in me since freshman year and pushed me to reach my maximum potential. Coach Pratt, Coach Stevens, and Coach Shoemaker, and all other football coaches. You taught me how to be tough and that working really hard has great success. You guys dedicated so much of your life to make sure that we were the best we could possibly be. Thanks to you guys, I get to continue to play the sport I love at the next level. Coach Fury, thank you for teaching me to never settle. Coach Corey Wetzel, thank you for instilling in me hustle and treating me like one of your own. Mom, without you in my life, I would be lost. Thank you for being so strict on me growing up. Without your amazing guidance, I wouldn't be the type of person I am today. Dad, thank you for showing me how to be a man and for keeping this family together. Kinsley, thank you for being my biggest fan. I know we sometimes argue and fight, but I want you to be a better person and athlete than your big brother. I also want to thank my family and friends for their continued support. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank our Heavenly Father. Without him, none of this would be possible. All my achievements are due to him. I pray God blesses this country and all of you. Thank you.
Mr. Braylon McGreevy. Congratulations, sir. Stand for God his.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. I'm truly honored to be standing here today as a nominee for the Ed Kelley Award. I'm grateful not only for the recognition, but also for the opportunity it brings to reflect on the characteristics of Ed Kelley. He held values that every person should strive to have. This includes leadership, integrity, courage, bravery, determination, and respect. Ed Kelley is regarded to as a hero because of his actions during World War II. In the icy winter of 1945, Kelley led his men for 2 days to the town of Kesternick. Despite the extreme weather conditions, him and his men never wavered. They had to fight through falling snow and German machine gun bullets soaring through the air. Kelley had been hit twice by exploding shells and lost usage in his left arm. At this point, most men would have retreated and allowed the Germans to hold their ground. However, Kelley had different ideas. He continued to urge his men to push forward and fend off the incoming assault. This battle meant almost certain death for him. Kelley knew that and still decided to put himself in harm's way. He ran out into the open and fired at the enemy, destroying 5 of them. While this happened, he was hit by multiple enemy bullets. This caused Ed Kelley to die a hero's death. Without these heroic actions, the Americans may not have won World War II. Kelley was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. He's the only person in Kaiser High School history to receive this honor. When we think about Ed Kelley and his actions, we should also think about the entire 78th Lightning Division. Their sacrifices in World War II did not go unnoticed. Now I would like to notice the millions of men and women currently serving and the millions of people that served before them. Veterans have made sacrifices that most of us will never fully comprehend. They chose to serve our country instead of living in comfort. Their families have also made sacrifices. They have to support, wait, and stand strong behind their family members who have gone off to the military. To all veterans and their families in the crowd this morning, I thank you for your service, bravery, sacrifices, and leadership. The freedom that I experience in my day-to-day life wouldn't exist if it wasn't for you all. So thank you for everything you have done. I'd like to start off my thank yous with our administration. Mr. Altabello, Mrs. Droppelman, and Mrs. Dupuy had done a lot of work behind the scenes to ensure that the ceremony would be organized. I would also like to thank our entire backstage crew, which is mostly composed of students, for all of their hard work over the past few days to make sure today ran smoothly. I'd like to say thank you to our special guest speaker, Commander Damon Bateson. Your remarks this morning were truly inspiring to all of us. I'd also like to recognize Ms. Tina Stephen and the rest of Moose Lodge 662, the American Legion Post 41, as well as the Kelley Society for making this experience so memorable for me. I owe a special thank you to Ms. Rotruck. She's done so much work behind the scenes to make sure today was perfect. Without her, I'm not sure if any of this is possible. She has guided me through a very challenging process and helped me prepare for this moment. I know how much work goes into events like these, and I appreciate everyone who gave up their own time to help out. There have been a lot of inspirational people in my life. At the top of this list is Coach Fury. He did a great job prioritizing life lessons in preparation over winning games. He showed me the discipline and determination that is necessary to succeed in the future. Without him, I wouldn't be as prepared for the rest of my life as I am now. I'm grateful for what Coach Fury has taught me throughout the years. I'd also like to thank Mr. Whiteman and Mrs. McCauley for teaching me how to give a speech. Without them, I would not be able to give this speech right now. And now from Mrs. Stephanie Stephen. She's like a second mother to me. She showed me that I can express myself through cooking while teaching me life skills that create independence and sustainability. She's always there for anyone, and we can all come to her for anything from school issues to daily conflicts. Next, I would like to thank my entire family for their continuous support of me and all of my activities. To my sister, I appreciate your desire to cheer me on in all my sports. For my mom, thank you for always being my biggest supporter in everything I do. When I need help with anything, I know exactly who to go to. I want to thank my dad for being a good role model for me. He's a very hard worker and always puts the needs of others over himself. I strive to be the same way. I'm grateful for the inspirational stories and life lessons that my pap provides for me. And for my grandma, thank you for making sure I never go hungry. I don't even have to ask for food anymore. You just know. But on a serious note, the work you do to help people that are less fortunate is admirable and inspiring. You set the standard that I should try to live up to. I'd also like to take a moment to talk about the 2 guys that are sitting next to me. I've been friends with Grayson and Owen for practically my entire life. They are like brothers to me, and I wouldn't want to share this moment with anyone else. I know both of them are very deserving of this award because I've seen all their hard work and how they conduct themselves. To the students of Kaiser High School, I want the one thing you take away from this speech to be respect. I challenge you to have respect for everyone, no matter the situation. I would like to leave you today with this quote from Mother Teresa. Helping one person might not change the whole world, but it could change the whole world for one person. Thank you all.
Mr. Owen Roachuk.
Good morning. I cannot express how honored I am to be selected for such a prestigious award alongside my good friends, Grayson and Braylon. I've grown up playing sports and sharing classes with you guys, and I would not want to share this stage with anyone else. I would like to take a moment to thank all the men and women that have kept the Jonah Edward Kelley program a tradition here at Kaiser High School. Thank you to all current and former veterans and service members, Mrs. Roachuk and other volunteers, Moose Lodge 662, American Legion Boys Hauser Post 41, President of the Kelley Society, Mr. Staggers, and other members of the society, Mineral County Board of Education, Student Superintendent Ravenscroft, Assistant Superintendent Wilson, Principal Altabello, and Assistant Principals Ms. Dupuy and Ms. Droppelman. Today, we are here to honor a model All-American citizen, Jonah Edward Kelley. He was known for his extraordinary integrity, relentless determination, and outstanding character, and the excellence in academics and athletics. To even be considered to have the same characteristics as Staff Sergeant Kelley is one of the greatest honors one could receive. His actions, along with the 78th Lightning Division, have inspired many people and many more to come. Even though he knew the risk of his actions, Staff Sergeant Kelley never thought twice about sacrificing his life for his country, which resulted in him receiving the Congressional Medal of Honor. Ed Kelley's integrity was known to be outstanding, and he always did the right thing even when no one was watching. His humbleness and relentless determination was evident to everyone and unquestionable. The patriotism that Jonah Edward Kelley, United States veterans, and active service men and women show every day is what gives me the undying pride in our amazing country. To be recognized with an award for displaying characteristics of integrity and leadership and humility is an amazing accomplishment and a goal that I could not have accomplished without these wonderful people guiding me in the correct direction. Coach Stevens and Coach Roachuk, you taught me how to face adversity head on, you showed me how to lead, and you pushed me to be the best person that I can be on and off the mat or field. I would not be half the man I am today without you guys. Mrs. McCauley, you have prepared me for a lifelong knowledge, you challenged me to grow as a person, and you showed me that I'm capable of doing difficult things, even though I never want to think of war and peace again. Mrs. Stan, you not only taught me skills that I will use daily, but you're always someone who I can rely on to be there and help me whenever I need it. Nana and Pap, thank you for first introducing me to church life and the everlasting love that God shows. You have been my biggest supporter since day one, whether it's cheering me on at a football game or taking me out for ice cream on a good report card. Mimi and Pap, thank you for endless memories and adventures. You have shown me that I have love for the outdoors and have given me skills that I will use throughout my life and teach my children. Logan, thank you for being a role model, a best friend, and someone I can talk to when I need advice. Mom, thank you for always being there when I need you. You're always willing to do whatever it takes to give me the best opportunities possible, and you're always there for others whenever they need it. Dad, thank you for being a role model, a coach, and a great father. You have instilled values in me that I'll use throughout my whole life. Without you, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Classmates and community members, let us challenge ourselves to emulate the characteristics embodied by Jonah Edward Kelley. Our community grows stronger when we have chose respect over negativity, effort over excuses, and accountability over blame. I challenge each of you to step up, support one another, take pride in our actions, and commit to making a positive impact no matter how small it may seem. Thank you, and God bless.
Next, for the presentation of our scholarship, current Ed Kelley Society President, Mr. Jeff Staggers.
Good morning. Once again, congratulations, gentlemen. 3 exceptional nominees this year. You're going to go far. I'm very honored to be representing the Kelley Society this year at this annual event and to present the J. Edward Kelley Memorial Trust Scholarship to these 3 young men. The scholarship has sure evolved through the several years. From 1946 until 1976, the winner received a traditional Ed Kelley watch, and the runners-up received a pencil and pen set. Later, runners-up evolved to receiving bracelets. The first scholarship wasn't awarded until 1977. The amount was $100. The scholarship award has gradually increased to reach its current value that stands at $9,000. Plaques and medallions were added in later years. Once the scholarship had advanced to over $100, most of the nominees in the past have agreed to share the scholarship equally. And I'm not surprised that these 3 young men have agreed to do the same, so they will each be receiving $3,000. When I look at you nominees, I'm not surprised that you decided to do that based on your character, leadership, and selflessness. We'd also like to recognize the program's relationship with the 78th Lightning Division. Without their financial support, we would not be able to continue to provide scholarships at the current value. For years, they have supported this program financially, in attendance, letters, encouragement, and they're definitely going to be missed. Their actions to honor the memory of their fallen comrade is nothing short of remarkable. Within the past 15 years, the 78th Lightning Division transferred the 78th Division Veterans Association Trust Fund to us. That is what has now become the J. Edward Kelley Memorial Trust Fund. At this time, I'd like to present each of you with your scholarship and also a plaque on your special day. So as I call your name, would you please come forward? Mr. Grayson Lampka. Mr. Braylon McGreevy. Mr. Owen Rotruck. In closing, I'd just like to say, earlier, Principal Ottobello mentioned that to the Society's knowledge, Mr. Tom Stryker is a remaining living member of Mr. Kelley's Infantry, the 78th Lightning Division. This ceremony means so much to this community in this area. I'd just like to implore all of us that are here today, maybe listening, maybe watching, let's definitely keep alive the memory of Jonah Edward Kelley. Thank you.
At this time, we have a special presentation. If I could call back up President Staggers to present that.
Those of you that know this lady know that she doesn't search the limelight, be embarrassed to come out, but would Miss Carrie Rotruck please come to the stage? As several of the nominees mentioned, this young lady is the engine that makes the Kelley program run. She somehow has something new for the program every year. She is a true gem to Kaiser High School, and the Kelley Society would like to give you a token of our appreciation.
Thank you so much.
As we conclude today's ceremony, a couple of thank yous. Thank you to Mr. Wilson in our Kaiser High School Concert Band. Thank you to all of those that are present today for what you do and what you add to our small town, our community, our school, and the lives of the young people that are impacted as we move forward. I'd like to remind everyone of the luncheon that is held at the American Legion right after the ceremony. If you would like to be inclined to visit and have some fellowship, we will be at the American Legion for the luncheon. Let us carry forward the values that this award represents: character, leadership, and selfless service. Today's recognition is not just a reflection of past accomplishments, but a reminder of the deeper impact each of us can have. Thank you to our honored guests, families, staff, students, and community for your continued support, and thank you all for being a part of this meaningful tradition. I'd ask that we remain seated until the postlude has concluded. Students, as you go back and board the buses, you will, once you arrive back at Kaiser High School, you will be going back into advisory class until we all get back, and then we will dismiss from there to go to third block. Thank you again, and have a great rest of your day.